Hey guys, my name is Danny Shepard. I am the actor playing Nightwing and also the co-creator of Nightwing the series. And I'm joined here with...
This is Adam Zielinski. I'm the director of Nightwing the series.
Right now we're going to talk about episode 1 and sort of go into the behind the scenes of how we did everything. So we'll get right into it. So our very first scene that you see in the series is located at a downtown gala in downtown Bludhaven, sort of like ritzy, nice gala in sort of a crappy city. This was actually, what, our 11th day of shooting?
Yeah, this was our final day of what we call principal. So this was our major schedule that we had.
We are shooting the gala scene today. This is where Hamilton Hill is gonna get killed by Deathstroke.
Oh snap.
This is the most people we've had on a set. It's ridiculous. You can see how many people are here, and there's more people out there. It's crazy.
Everyone is just running around everywhere, and I don't know where anybody is.
Oh, damn.
I'm looking for Domenica.
I would say in total, we had close to, I believe it was about 100 people there. You had a lot of extras. You had a lot of stunt people. We had a lot of crew. There was the security of the venue, and then we just had the whole team. So it was a lot of people going in there, and it was very, very stressful as a director that day. But it actually totally worked out. It was actually a really, really good day. So.
I'll admit that this was one of the least stressful days for me because Adam had all the pressure on him, and I wasn't acting. I was literally just like, I put on my little producer hat, and I was just helping wherever I was needed, and just watching the performances take place. And I really, there's like maybe three, maybe 4 scenes that I'm not in. So it was really cool just being able to see an action scene finally. Because I've been in all the action scenes. It was sweet seeing that from behind the camera instead of being in front of the camera.
I think if you followed me and Danny at the time on social media, you would find Danny from that day was pointing the gun at the camera like he was Rick from The Walking Dead. Yeah. And then if you saw any pictures of me, it was just me behind camera, like just super focused, figuring out how the hell we were gonna get this done. But yeah, that was a lot of fun that day. Rick, no! It was a lot of fun. I guess one really interesting thing to talk about, we haven't talked about it at all, is we shot this with it's still a homemade version, but it's like the Movi, so it's a stabilized version on the Red Epic. So you can actually just kind of like hold it around, and it's not gonna really vibrate or shake the camera. It's not gonna be that rough handheld. It's gonna be really smooth, almost like a mock steady cam. So Mike Gaskell, the DP, had that, and we used that for the majority of that shoot that day. So it was really cool. We could just swoop in. You know, I think one of the big hits you noticed it is when Adam Kilborn, the guy, flies through the door, and we just swoop up, and you just see Deathstroke come into the hall, and it's just that very like powerful, like this guy is somebody to watch out for. And it was a lot of fun to get to play with that, and just the way we just swayed back and forth in that courtroom. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Movi allowed for a lot of mobility in that scene, which is super cool. Shooting that scene in general was awesome. We had the little cameo from Jeremy. We knew coming in, we were like, we got to give Jeremy a little cameo somewhere. And Jeremy was like, hey, can I be the first guy that Deathstroke kills? Can I be that security guard? And we were like, yes, yes you can be. So Jeremy literally learned that little choreography where he's just gonna get beat up, and you see his hair whipping around like crazy.
It was fun watching Jeremy, he played so many roles in the making of the series. He was costume designer, prop master, makeup at certain times, DP, editor. He's done so much. He did so much for the project, but for me it's a really big joy watching him at the opening. I think he's the first guard to come down, and he did such great work with that too, so he surprised us with his great acting skills.
One of the big things that stands out from that day was definitely the stunt guys.
Imagine like this. We're talking about, he raises up his gun, points it at the jazz singer, she's like, oh no, please don't kill me, and then he lifts up, shoots the guy behind her, and I imagine he moves on to the next fight.
Yeah, that's fine.
Aaron and Easy Ortega, the guys who did all the fight choreography, brought all of this whole crew of the R-Hat Orphan Brotherhood, and those guys just did amazing stunts. So we just had people we just met for that day that were ready just to get their ass kicked or killed. And they would even do the mock gunshots and everything, and they were just like on point that they could handle doing all this. So it was very, very cool. I was like, I'm even just thinking about that scene again. I'm very, very happy with how that whole scene played out. So
it's a lot of fun, and our actor slash stunt guy Lance Brazil, who's playing Deathstroke, the guy just moves with just this force and aggression and just authority behind it. It's just like, you don't want to mess with this guy.
super great.
It's good stuff.
That was after he did like a full shift at work
He was
too.
exhausted.
So he did a whole shift at work, and then he came and he was that guy throughout the whole scene. So it's amazing.
Yeah, look as sweet as it looks from my end.
Sweet, man. Good? Hey, man, are you all right? Yeah. That was awesome. Are you all right?
Cross. Hit. Boom. Hit.
Stuntman. Stuntman.
They're made of foam because they're not real.
So I remember we were discussing how we're gonna do the decapitation. We always knew we wanted it. We didn't want it to be too gory, so we didn't want to make like up close like a horror movie and have blood shooting out of a torso or anything. But so Danny was like, well, let's do it, or it's kind of out of focus and we see the head fall off. And I was like, okay. The idea of that's really simple, but executing that, well, now we have a moving shot where we need to have the head fall off. We had a dummy head, and that dummy head, to me, I was like, yeah, it looks like a volleyball bouncing off the ground. I was like, that doesn't work, dude.
It was too small. It was the size of a woman's head, but it was also like the size of like a small, really small woman's head. So
Yeah.
it didn't match Stu Chaikin, our actor playing Hamilton Hill.
Yeah, the color was all wrong. It just didn't work. So Danny, I was like, Danny, you could do this in post, right? Like, you just take care of this. And Danny's like, no. And I was like, yeah, we're just gonna have to, man. We're just gonna have to do it.
And it was so much work. On set, he was like, hey, dude, like, we don't have time to keep setting this up, so you're just gonna do it in post. You cool with that? I was like, no, I can't do this in post. The hardest part was not getting the head to roll off the shoulders and hit the ground. The hardest part was covering the space to where Stu's head actually was, and covering it with a background that was dynamically moving consistently with all the jitters of the movie.
So we had Johnny, our composer from Europe, actually design the music exactly how we wanted. So anything we wanted to change, he would just do it, and he would do it so quickly, and it was awesome.
Johnny's hands down, I think, one of the best composers I've ever worked with or even met. It has a flavor of Dark Knight, but it also has, it's definitely uniquely its own thing, and I think that's my favorite thing about it, is it's familiar yet different. And yeah, Johnny Sygalinsky, or John Sygalinsky, how he likes to, his stage name is just, well, a godsend when it comes to the music department. So this is the first day I had to do the HUDs for Nightwing the series, and overall, yeah, it was kind of a tough thing. I had to come up with a customized design. You're gonna see a lot more of the HUDs in episode 3. I might do a tutorial a little later showing you guys how I did that.
One of the stand-up people that we got to meet in this whole project was Stephen Manley, who plays Willie Wintergreen. And that guy is just awesome. From the second he walked into the casting, he was just so prepared, and he walked out and we were literally like, that's the guy, without a doubt.
My favorite day on set was, there's one that really stands out, and that was when we shot the Willie Wintergreen and Nightwing scene in the alley. It was an incredibly cold day in Las Vegas. It was over the winter. You're kind of seeing your crew suffer through the weather, and you're wondering when they're gonna say, okay, this is it, this is too much, I can't do this, especially when they're not, no one's being paid. That never happened. And I always kind of expected at some point, my toes were freezing, my hands were freezing, so I imagined everybody else that was working on it was feeling the same way, and just keeping that spirit of moving forward, blocking, almost sensitizing yourself from the conditions of the environment, and just sort of, keeping your head up and doing it. And that to me was like an amazing experience, because I didn't imagine that people would really go that far with helping us make this project.
All right, so that was episode 1. Stay tuned for next week, where we'll be coming out with episode 2 of Nightwing the series, and also episode 2 of our behind the scenes. So if you want to see how we made it and also want to see the video, click the annotations and watch them.